Hey there, A's Day fans. Welcome to our Friday edition of our show. Welcome to the second half of the 2026 season. I'm your host, Joe Grotto. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by to hear our thoughts on athletics baseball as we kick it off into the weekend. Today is Friday, July 17th. We've got a good show for you, as always. At the top of today's show, we're going to talk about the flurry of roster moves that have gone on throughout this week, including the arrival of the A's number 7 prospect, Tommy White, or better known as Tommy Tanks. He is set to make his major league debut tonight in West Sacramento in the 9th spot, playing first base. We'll discuss what he may be bringing to the major league club. And then from there, in the back half of today's show, we'll get to know Tommy Tanks a little bit, as well as previewing the first series of the second half of the season, as the A's are set to kick off a 3-game set tonight against the Washington Nationals. So good to be back here behind the mic, and so good for the return of A's baseball starting in a few moments. Let's get to it. Holy Toledo, let's go A's. All right, there, A's Day fans. Thank you again for tuning in for our Friday edition of A's Day, or whenever you're listening to our show. We appreciate all of your support. All right, let's jump right in. Let's discuss the flurry of moves that went down starting back on July 15th, a couple days ago. So the A's recalled left-handed pitcher Brady Basso from AAA. They also selected the contract of right-handed pitcher Junior Torre from AAA as well, so he will be set to make his major league debut at some point, I would think, over the weekend, but we will see there. In corresponding moves, the Athletics optioned right-handed pitcher Mason Barnett to AAA, as did they optioned first baseman Joey Meneses. Also, in another couple of moves, the A's activated third baseman Donovan Walton, and in conjunction, they went on to DFA Aaron Savali. And then we heard the news officially. It went through today. The Athletics selected the contract of third baseman Tommy White from AAA. Like we mentioned, he is set to make his major league debut later this evening. Excited to see if he tanks one out of Sutter Health Park later tonight. And in a final move, the A's transferred designated hitter Brent Rooker from the 10-day injured list to the 16-day injured list with that bone bruise in his left knee. He did already undergo surgery, I do believe, and it was already announced that he will be out for the remainder of the 2026 season. So those were the flurry of roster moves that hit the airwaves over the last couple of days. The A's are getting busy, showing a little bit of urgency, perhaps, to hope ignite, spark something to get back into the postseason picture. With one of the biggest moves to come, or one of the call-ups to come out of that, is Tommy White finally getting the call, their number 7 prospect. He's called up in advance of tonight's Friday series opener against the Nationals. It will be his major league debut. White was one of the best hitters in the country during his collegiate career, and where he got the infamous Tommy Tanks name, hitting .355 with a .419 on base and .704 slugging percentage over 3 seasons. He nevertheless fell to the second round of the 2024 draft because of concerns about an aggressive approach and his lackluster third base defense. White has been a good pure hitter throughout his minor league career, but he hasn't drawn many walks or hit for a ton of power. He owns a .279 batting average, a .337 on base, and .430 slugging percentage slash line across 860 professional plate appearances. That includes a .303 batting average, .345 on base, and .489 slugging percentage, showing over 55 games for AAA Las Vegas this year. White has only fanned in 14% of his plate appearances, but has a tiny 4.8% walk rate. He makes a decent amount of hard contact, though his 50% ground ball rate isn't ideal for a bat-first player with below-average speed. White has split his time between the corner infield positions, as scouting reports from Baseball America and Fangraphs peg him as a below-average but not unplayable defender at third base. Earlier, it was noted that White could be a plus defender at first base, and loosely was shown some comparisons to former Phillies corner infielder Maikel Franco as an overall player. White ranked 11th in the system according to Baseball America and 17th according to Fangraphs heading into the year, but due to some of the call-ups and some of the moves, he has moved up to the number 7 prospect on the list. The A's currently are getting a look at another rookie, Joshua Kuroda-Grauer, who's been off to a hot start as their primary third baseman. They recently placed Nick Kurtz on the injured list and could give White a look over there or a designated hitter where he is slotted in to start at first base tonight. White should at least be in the lineup regularly against left-handed pitching, as he has pummeled southpaws at a .376 batting average, a .438 on base, and .576 slugging percentage clip this year. To get to know White a little bit more, he has fast hands and is direct to the ball, and he can get to pitches deep in the zone. When looking at his swing and miss numbers, it's impressive to see just what White was able to do at the AAA level. He posted a sub 20% whiff percentage on all pitches except sweepers and curveballs. Only 14.5% of fastballs got past him with Las Vegas. One drawback to White's game is that while he makes a ton of contact, he doesn't walk a whole lot. The 23-year-old will regularly expand the strike zone, although he won't do so as much on velocity as compared to breaking balls. So best of luck to Tommy White. The long-awaited debut has arrived. It didn't seem like for a while that there was going to be a roster fit to see where White was officially going to get his chance. Well, it seems like everything has aligned at the right time, and perhaps White could be part of this roster change to help get this team back on the right track. They're marred in losing 17 of their last 20. I think this All-Star break came at the right time. I think the shakeup of the roster is at the perfect time. It hasn't been going right for several weeks, and you don't want to lose this season in a year that the American League is a bit up for grabs. And I know the A's haven't done any favors for themselves to show why they feel like they deserve to be up there with the cream of the crop in the American League. But with how the American League is shaped out, and with the tight race in that wild card race specifically, and even the division isn't completely out of hand, no one's run away with it there as well, that they feel, hey, 7 to 10 days of good baseball could have you right in the thick of things. So there's no reason to punt on it, and perhaps you could see the spark that Joshua Kuroda-Grauer provided, and he already has 18 professional hits at the major league level. He's made an instant impact. Now they're hoping some of these other guys that have been chomping at the bit at AAA, like a Tommy White, let's see if he can get into some power here over this weekend at Sutter Health Park. So best of luck. Hopefully it's a wonderful debut tonight, and looking forward to watching all of his at-bats, and hopefully it's in the midst of an Athletics victory. All right, let's get to the A's next opponent before we get on out of here. We're going to keep it a little bit tidy so you have the opportunity to, if you want, listen to this edition leading up to first pitch tonight, but plenty of time all throughout the weekend. But before we preview their next series, which is set to kick off in a little bit here, this episode is brought to you by the Holiday Inn Sacramento Downtown Arena. Stay in the heart of downtown at Holiday Inn Sacramento Downtown Arena, ideally located near Old Sacramento Waterfront, Golden One Center, and Downtown Commons Doco. Our full-service Sacramento hotel is just 15 minutes from Sacramento International Airport and within walking distance of the California State Capitol and Safe Credit Union Convention Center. Host meetings, conferences, and social events in our flexible boardrooms and ballrooms, supported by experienced on-site sales and events teams. Enjoy modern amenities, including a rooftop outdoor pool, on-site fitness center, and Cypress Grill restaurant, serving breakfast, dinner, and cocktails. Guest rooms and suites feature comfortable workspaces, contemporary amenities, and city views, making them ideal for both short stays and extended visits. Whether you're attending an event, planning a meeting, or exploring Sacramento dining, entertainment, and cultural attractions, or if you're in town for an A's home game, our downtown location keeps you close to it all. Downtown access, full-service comfort, easy booking. Stay at our downtown Sacramento hotel. All right. So like we mentioned at the top of the show, welcome to the second half of the Major League season. The A's are slated to kick things off with some interleague action. They welcome in the Washington Nationals, who are coming in from the fourth place currently in the National League East with a record of 48-49. They are led by rookie manager Blake Butera, and leading up into the All-Star break, they had a hard-fought competitive series against the New York Yankees in their at home, but the Nationals were swept in all 3 games. So they're coming in on a little bit of a skid. but the Nationals have been one of the pleasant early surprises in Major League Baseball. Offensively, they rank as follows. So these are all team statistics. As a team, they're hitting .250 for a batting average, which is 8th in baseball. They've hit 138 home runs, which is 2nd. They've scored 516 runs, which is tied with the Pirates for the most. They've walked 332 times, which is 12th. They've struck out 799 times, which is 14th. And they've hit to a 759 OPS, which is 3rd in baseball. On the mound, they've struggled a bit here as a collective. They've pitched to a 4.75 ERA, which is 26th in baseball. They've walked 340 batters, which is 18th. They've struck out 769 batters, which is 21st, and they've pitched to a 1.40 whip, which is 24th. And defensively, they've been the worst team in baseball. Their fielding percentage is .979, and their 74 errors both are the lowest marks. All right, let's get to some game times and starting pitching probables so you can know when and who will be toeing the mound for both teams. So tonight, game one, first pitch, 6:40 p.m. Pacific time. Cade Cavalli going for the Nationals, going up against Gage Jump for the green and gold. Tomorrow, Saturday, is game two. Will be a 7:05 p.m. Pacific time first pitch. Zach Littell getting the ball for the Nats, going up against JT Ginn. And then the Sunday rubber match is a day game, a 1:05 p.m. Pacific time first pitch start. Nationals all-star right-hander Foster Griffin will be getting the ball, going up against Jacob Lopez. Let's get to know these National starters a little bit that the A's hitters will have to go up against. So game one starter is right-handed pitcher Cade Cavalli. On the year, he has made 20 starts, pitching to a 5-4 record with a 3.83 ERA. In 98 2/3 innings pitched, he's walked 32 batters, has struck out 110, and has pitched to a 1.35 whip. In his last start, he lost against the Yankees back on July 12th. He went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. His fastball averages 96.5 miles an hour on the year, which ranks in the 81st percentile of all qualified pitchers, according to Baseball Savant. Cavalli has successfully cemented his role as a frontline starter, fully moving past his prior injury history to deliver a breakout first half for the 2026 season. He works with the following pitch arsenal. He works with a four-seam fastball, averages about 95 to 97 miles an hour, has topped out at 100. It's elite raw velocity featuring a revamped baby cutter shape and new two-seamer. It can play down due to a lack of elite natural deception. His curveball averages 82 to 85 miles an hour. It's a hard 12 to 6 hammer with immense power and downward depth. It serves as his premier swing and miss put away pitch. His slider sweeper combo pitch is in the upper 80s. It's thrown tighter than the curveball and more frequently for strikes. Features a tweaked sweeper shape that has increased his lateral movement. He also works with a changeup that's also in the upper 80s. It's thrown with heavy conviction and baseline bat missing ability to keep left-handed hitters off of his heater. So some of his current strengths is his elite whiff generation. Cavalli boasts an upper-tier chase and whiff profile. His explosive stuff was put on full display back on June 30th against the Boston Red Sox, where he generated a career-high 25 whiffs and 13 strikeouts over 7 innings. He's also shown, after overcoming some injury history, some physical durability. Utilizing his imposing 6'4", 225-pound frame, his clean and loose arm action allows him to hold mid to high 90s velocity deep into ball games. He has that competitive edge, which is rated for his makeup and mound aggression very high, though this boiled over into a brief 5-game suspension in early July following a heated exchange with Boston's Wilson Contreras. He has some remaining development areas, just like any pitcher does. His consistent in-zone execution. While he is limiting free passes, Cavalli needs to hit corners more consistently. Opponents are batting .263 against him because his pitches lack natural deception when he misses his spots in the zone. Also, some right-handed pitching adjustments, finding a reliable breaking variant to consistently neutralize same-side batters remains his secondary adjustment goal for the final 2 months of this season. Now, we're going to get to know Game 2 starter, right-handed pitcher Zach Littell. On the year, he has appeared in 19 games, 12 of those starts, pitching to a 7-6 record with a 4.90 ERA, 90 innings pitched, 26 walks, 57 strikeouts, and a 1.31 whip. In his last start, he also lost against the Yankees back on July 10th. He went 4 innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 run, no walks, 5 strikeouts. His fastball in the air has averaged 91.6 miles an hour thus far. Littell operates as a low-velocity, elite command bulk arm for the Nats, pitching to a 4.90 ERA over 90 innings. While he signed a one-year, $7 million contract to serve as a steady middle-of-the-rotation starter, a severe home run problem pushed him into a hybrid role. Heading into the second half, the Nationals are primarily utilizing him as a bulk relief weapon option following an opener. It seems like in this series they may not be utilizing that method, but time will tell. That's why such the split between the 19 games and the 12 games started. He works with the following pitching repertoire. His four-seam fastball sinker sits between 89 and 91, occasionally touching 93 to 95. The pitch relies strictly on a high spin rate and precise command rather than pure raw velocity. His secondary mix utilizes a sweeping slider, a true curveball that flashes plus traits, and an average changeup. Some of his strengths include elite walk prevention. Littell remains an excellent strike thrower, surrendering only 26 walks over 90 frames, a 6.8% walk percentage. His bulk relief excellence. He has excelled out of the bullpen in bulk relief roles following an opener. He sports a 3.03 ERA, including a recent dominant 4-inning, 5-strikeout relief appearance against the Yankees right before the All-Star break. Also, he is known for his preparation and study. He grades high on pregame sequencing and scouting opposing hitter tendencies. Some of his weaknesses include that severe home run liability. Littell has been plagued by the long ball. He has surrendered 23 home runs, among the highest totals in Major League Baseball. He has a low strikeout ceiling as he lacks high-end miss-the-bat stuff, logging just 57 strikeouts, which is good for a 14.8% K percentage. Also, he is susceptible to hard contact. He struggles to avoid the barrel, resulting in a dangerous 91.9 mile an hour average exit velocity and a 45.5% hard hit rate. And as for Game 3 starter, this will be the toughest customer the A's go up against this weekend. He did make the All-Star team this year. Of course, we're talking about right-handed pitcher Foster Griffin. On the year thus far, he's made 19 starts, pitching to a 10-2 record with a 2.77 ERA, 110 in the third innings pitched, 26 walks, 109 strikeouts, and a 1.02 whip. In his last start back on July 8th, he won versus the Astros. He went 7 innings, allowed 5 hits, 1 run, no walks, 9 strikeouts. His fastball in the air averages 91.4 miles an hour. Griffin has engineered a massive breakout for the Nationals, completely rewriting his professional trajectory to become a 2026 National League All-Star. After spending 3 years in Japan with the Yomiuri Giants, the 30-year-old left-hander returned to MLB on a one-year, $5.5 million contract and immediately emerged as the Nationals' de facto ace. Griffin entered the 2026 All-Star break as one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball, leading the majors with a 1.25 ERA since early June. He recently capped off his incredible first half by striking out consecutive batters in a scoreless 1-2-3 inning during his All-Star game debut earlier this week. He works with his repertoire. As for his repertoire, the core of Griffin's transformation lies in a significantly altered and expanded pitch arsenal developed during his stint in NPB. He has abandoned high four-seam fastball usage in favor of a heavy off-speed and movement-based mix, successfully throwing up to 7 distinct pitches. He works with a cutter, which is his primary. This is Griffin's go-to pitch. He uses his 89 to 90 mile an hour cutter effectively to both sides of the plate, frequently jamming right-handed hitters and freezing lefties on the outside corner. The changeup and splitter. His changeup has evolved into an elite put-away pitch with late fade. He mirrors it with a newly added splitter that tumbles out of the same release tunnel, making it nearly impossible for batters to track. And you also have his sweeper and curveball. He relies on a slow sweeper to move away from left-handed bats or backdoor righties. He rounds out the mix with a standard vertical curveball. Griffin's success is driven by his elite control with command and execution. He avoids walking batters, a 2.12 walks per 9 rate, and excels at getting ahead early, notably throwing first pitch strikes to 17 out of 25 batters in a dominant July 8th outing against Houston. So those are the pitchers that the A's hitters will have to fare against. I think Griffin will be interesting to see how he fares, but I do think there are successes for more opportunities against Cavalli and certainly some home run threats against Littell tomorrow on Saturday as well. Here's the A's hitter history against these national starters. There's not a ton here. In the past, Shea Langoliers is 1-for-3 lifetime against Cade Cavalli. Against Zach Littell, Jonah Heim lifetime is 4-for-6 with 2 doubles, and Jeff McNeil is 1-for-3. And not much of a history. The only guy to face him is Jonah Heim. In terms of Foster Griffin, he went 0-for-2. There's no further history there. Here are some Nationals players to keep an eye out for. led by now two-time All-Star right fielder James Wood. He's hitting .279 on the year with 28 home runs, 64 RBIs, and a .984 OPS. His fellow All-Star teammate shortstop C.J. Abrams, he's having a fine season as well, hitting .275 with 20 home runs, 67 RBIs, and an .862 OPS. And the third player to keep an eye on is first baseman Luis Garcia Jr. He's hitting .284 with 20 home runs, 68 RBIs, and an .871 OPS. All right, A's Day fans, it's prediction time. We're going to try to start the second half strong, just like we hope our Athletics do. We're going to select the A's Day home run prediction for Jonah Heim. We do believe we'll homer at least once over these next 3 games. And as for our series prediction, we do believe that the A's are going to get off on the right foot. I do think some urgency, some new energy is going to instill that it's go time sooner rather than later. Like we mentioned on previous episodes, it's getting late early. It's go time. So we think that the A's are going to start off at home on the right foot. Taking 2 out of 3, we do believe they'll win tonight 5-4. They'll win tomorrow 6-2 before the Nationals win on Sunday 8-2. We do predict that the A's will take 2 out of 3 to win the series against the Washington Nationals. Before we get out of here to prepare to watch, to be ready to go for first pitch, we just want to make you aware that thanks to our relationship with the A's communications department, that we have the opportunity to be credentialed during batting practice leading up to tomorrow's home game. So we're going to take advantage of that opportunity and hopefully get some interviews with some A's players. And then over on our Bases, Barrels, and Ball Players podcast, we're going to have some interviews with some Nationals players. Now, we're thankful for the opportunity. You just know the nature of the Major League season. Batting practice schedules are unpredictable, so we're hopeful, just because they're fresh off of the All-Star break, that both teams will be out there. But we'll keep you posted here, especially on our next episode, when you can expect to view and hear our interactions with some of your favorite A's players. With that brings us to the close of another edition of A's Day. We appreciate you stopping by to kick off your weekend, to hear our thoughts on athletics baseball, and to hear about the new challenges that lie ahead for the Athletics. We'll be back here behind the mic for Monday's show in the same spot, as we will recap what goes down over the weekend in this national series, and then and then we will preview their next matchup kicking off to start off the week. We're so happy that baseball is back. We missed these last few days without A's baseball. Hasn't been the same. And I know we were treated to the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game early in the week, but it just doesn't provide that same juice. We are so thankful to be back to have some A's baseball to enjoy, experience, and then take our notes to come on back here and hold meaningful conversations about this A's team with you, the lovely audience. That's all I have for you today. Once again, I'm your host, Joe Grado. Thank you for your time. I hope you all have a great weekend, and let's hope we're treated to some A's victories. We know it's been a tough a few weeks, but hopefully that's all past. The break came at the right time, and now hopefully we'll be talking about this team getting on a bit of a roll. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here for Monday's show. Till next time, Holy Toledo. Let's go A's.